Greetings, viewer. Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 on this channel. How have you been? In this video, we are going to talk about embarrassing moments or mechanic mistakes. And this was actually started over as a suggestion over at my forum. And I wish I could remember who it was that suggested it. And he'd asked me, he's like, so Eric, what were your most embarrassing moments as a technician? Good question. Really good question. I have a couple. There was two instances that I thought of when I first started, when I heard that question, and they were well, one was when I started out, and one was actually when I was into my career pretty good. The one when I just started out was probably one of my favorites, and I can laugh about it now, but at the time I wasn't laughing so much. I did a brake job on a full-size Ford truck, rear brakes in fact. And I was out on my test drive. And while I was out on my test drive, I'm just cruising along thinking everything is fine, and all of a sudden the whole back end of the truck just sort of dropped like this. And I'm like, what the heck just happened? Well, it didn't take me long to figure out what happened because I looked out the window to my left and the rear tire was going past me on the road. And I'm very, very thankful. It was a 4-lane road. Nobody was coming in the opposite direction. Tire rolled off into a parking lot, came to a dead stop. And I can tell you that you can drive Ford trucks on the brake drums, at least for a little bit. Not for a while, but at least for a little bit. Just an FYI. But that was a pretty embarrassing thing. I had to walk back to the shop, which wasn't far away, thankfully. And of course the question started, where's the truck? Yeah. Shouldn't you be with a truck, Eric? And then the other guy that I worked with said something extremely funny that sticks with me to this day. He's like, yeah, so when it passed you, were you saying something like, you picked a fine time to leave me loose, wheel? And that's what happened, is I just finger tightened the lug nuts on the wheel when I put it on, but I forgot to run them down with the impact. So I was driving down the road and the lug nuts weren't tight. They were just finger tight, and after a while they came off, and so did the wheel. So that's what happened. That was my mistake. So since then I've been very, very vigilant about making sure that the wheel is securely fastened before leaving the shop. And the second one was, like I said, I was fairly into my career, and I was doing head gaskets on a early 90s Acura Legend. And I was trying to get I think one of the dowel pins that holds the cylinder head on to the back, and I had taken like the left side cylinder head I had already removed, and the right side cylinder head was still on the engine, so I hadn't removed that side yet. And I was trying to get this dowel pin out, and I was like, man, I just want to get this out because I wanted to clean the surface of the block really good, so when I installed the new gaskets everything was all happy, hunky-dory. Well, for whatever reason, I decided it would be a good idea to break out my torch to try and, add a little heat to this aluminum block to try to get this steel pin out. And before this, I should set this up a little bit further. Before this, I had cleaned most of the gasket surface off, and then I went over it with just some brake clean to try and, finish it off, get the rest of the grease and everything gone. So there was a little bit of brake clean in there. Well, as soon as I hit it with the torch, what happened was, and this was the craziest thing, what happened was the brake clean caught fire, okay? But as it caught fire, it went down inside the engine, went past the piston rings and all that kind of stuff. Actually, it probably went right down through the oil drain back holes in the engine block. Went back through there, down into the crankcase, and ignited the oil fumes and all the fumes and everything that were down in there, and blew the valve cover that it was still on the other cylinder, on the other cylinder bank, blew the valve cover right up. And I mean, it was loud. I mean, the entire shop got quiet after that, as I did myself, because in addition to that happening, there was this huge fireball that came out and singed my eyebrows. So that was another embarrassing moment. So it's, I've had my moments with fire for some reason. Every once in a while I'll do something with fire and it gets dangerous. Hence the reason why I'm wearing my safety glasses for this video. But yeah, so those are two of my biggest ones, the ones that came to mind when that question was asked. So how about you? What embarrassing moments have you had as an automotive technician, or just as a do-it-yourselfer or something like that working? Why don't you share your stories about your mistakes that you might have made while performing some kind of repair? Anyway, I am Eric. Oh, by the way, let's share that stuff in the comments, or better yet, I'm going to post a link to a forum discussion about this video over at my website, and we can talk about it over there. I always read the comments on YouTube. I just don't respond to them directly, but I respond to the stuff that's over at the website. I'm kind of stingy that way, I guess. Anyway, I am Eric the Car Guy, also known as ETCG1 on this channel. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you have automotive questions, head on over to said website, which I'll also post a link to, and you can type in a couple of keywords into our search function to possibly get an answer to your automotive questions. And if you don't get an answer there, you can always sign up for our forum. It's free to sign up for. All you need is an email address. In addition, you can find me at Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. And I will close with be safe, have fun, and of course, stay dirty. And I'd love to hear about your stories. Anyway, I will talk to you next time. See you later, everybody.